Good morning. I have dressed myself wholly inappropriately today. I'm all ready for summer. I'm in flip-flop shorts and a short sleeve top. It will teach me not to look out the bedroom window this morning, because when I got out it's raining, it's cold, it's wet and it's miserable. And I've just had to brazen it out walking through town in this gear, while all around me are in coats with umbrellas up. But hey ho, I'm heading home now, and that isn't going to dampen my spirits today, because we've got a really exciting day. If you've watched some of my previous vlogs, you'll know that my wife Sarah, she took a year out of work because she wanted to become a teacher. So for the last year she's been studying. She passed or got her marks a week or so ago, and found out that she passed with outstanding marks, and today is her graduation. So we're all heading across for the ceremony, and then back for a bit of a family get together with some food and I'm sure a few glasses of something bubbly. Well, I think we're nearly there, just getting sorted and getting in the car. What I wanted to sort of talk about today was, for want of a better word, sacrifice. And I don't mean that in some weird religious way. I just mean when people make sacrifices to achieve the goals that they want to achieve, more often than not, that has a positive effect on those around them. And that might just be one or two people, or it could be a whole host, hundreds, thousands, millions of people. And the comparison I want to draw is, when you look at what Sarah's done, the sacrifices she's made and the family have made to get to where she is, and now that benefit that's going to have to all those children that she's going to teach over the years that come. Can you draw a comparison from that with the likes of Elon Musk, who, okay, it can be argued he's got vast sums of money and he can try whatever he wants, but ultimately he's got a really clear goal in his mind, and it's basically, it comes down to making the world a better place. But he's making sacrifices. He has to sacrifice things in order to achieve what he wants to achieve, and he has to try and bring people along on that journey with him. How long are we going for? We're here at our first pickup. Here comes mother-in-law with the biggest cool box in the world. This is the reason we invited for days out. She always brings sandwiches.
Sarah Corbett.
And he's not. Yeah. He's not ready. Tell me, are you very proud of your mummy?
Yeah.
What are you proudest of?
That she's from the teacher now.
A proper teacher. Amazing. Well done. Wow, what a brilliant day we had yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't come back and do any more filming, but by the time we all got back, we got changed, went to the restaurant and started drinking wine. There wasn't really anything relevant that I could say on camera that would make any sense to anyone whatsoever. So yeah, I decided probably best not to do any more last night. So yeah, the day went really well. Very, very proud for, well, we all were, of Sarah. And yeah, so she's now a graduate again, but this time in teaching. So yeah, she starts her new job in September, which is brilliant news, and we're all very, very proud of her. And The kids were great last night. We had a really nice meal with all the family there, and yeah, we were all a little bit late and a little bit drunk when we eventually got to bed. But no matter, we got up this morning. We've been to the gym. We hurt a lot, but yeah, we're getting through the day. We'll be all right. Early night tonight, I think. So what I wanted to talk to you about was about sacrifice. I spoke a little bit about it yesterday, that the sacrifices Sarah has made to get to where she is now. She had a really good career, a really good job, and she was doing really well. But there was always that underlying issue that she had always wanted to teach, and it got to the point where she gave everything up, all you know, a career that she worked on for years and years and years, in order to kind of follow this dream she had. And you know, through hard work and sacrifice and everything else, she's made it. And yeah, you need people in the world like that. Now, that obviously that sacrifice is a sort of on a personal level, and it's affected her and the family, and you know, we've all played our part in that. But you look at someone like Elon Musk, who I spoke about yesterday, and the sacrifice he's made, and how that is now affecting all of us, certainly, you know, in the EV world, but way beyond that as well. So I think it was 24 he started up his first company. By 28 he'd sold it and made himself millions of pounds. Now at 28, you wouldn't, you know, nobody would criticize him for retiring, putting his feet up, and spending the rest of his life living very happily. But rather than doing that, he invested in another company, X.com, which ultimately became PayPal. Fast forward, he sells PayPal, makes millions more, and is doing very nicely for himself. Just before he sells PayPal, he starts up SpaceX, knows nothing about space travel, but yet puts his own money into it, and all but goes bankrupt, I think. Certainly there was a lot of financial issues there, until he gets somebody else on board, because he had this belief in this project, and invested his own money. And now it seems like every other day there's one of his shuttles going up and coming back down again. And Tesla, who, it wasn't a company he founded, he saw it and invested in it. Now that was about 2004 he invested in that. Now if you think back to 2004, Facebook was launched in 2004. That's how long ago this is. And you think what was going on in the world then. Electric cars didn't really play any part in anyone's mind, and yet he had this vision to invest his money for a future that wasn't just going to be a few years down the line, it was going to be decades down the line. And the sacrifices he then made, because that company also had massive financial issues, and he then, because he had such a belief in the company and changing the world, he invested his own money and became CEO of the company. And then obviously the rest is history. Hard work has paid off now, and here we are with the Model 3. And you know, for me, I hope it's a really successful car, and this is kind of gives him that payback that I think he deserves, because you know, it's not just about the cars, the space travel, it's about renewable energy. It's about, you know, think how this is going to change the world we live in. There's a viable alternative to diesel and petrol cars. There's a viable alternative to fossil fuel. You know, I think he's, you know, they talk about him as a pioneer. I think absolutely, when we look back on history, if it hadn't been for him, I wonder whether the likes of Nissan, Renault, whether they would have also started investing. You know, I think he kind of proved the concept and proved that there was a desire for people to have these cars. So yeah, all about sacrifice. And you know, the children now that are going to benefit from the sacrifice that Sarah's made over the last year, and likewise, you know, the people on Earth that are going to benefit now from the sacrifice of pioneers like Elon Musk. And you know, he's not the only one, don't get me wrong, but he's very much in the news at the moment. And certainly with my interest in EVs, he's somebody that I read an awful lot about. So yeah, it's great that there's people out there that are willing to sacrifice their own lives, their own personal time, their own finances in order to make somebody else's life better. And that's pretty much it for today, really. I have just been and bought a kayak. Probably more on that on the next video. I'm sure there'll be some interesting scenes of me trying to launch that, but yeah, next time for that. If you've enjoyed today's video, remember to like it and share it, and if you're not doing so already, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye bye.